and we're not done with Jeffrey Epstein. I can tell you that for a fact. Can't tell you how I know, but I can tell you for a fact we're going to hear a lot more about Jeffrey Epstein in the coming year, and you may be even hearing from him directly. More on that as I'm allowed to tell you.
What? An hour before Epstein's death was announced, a series of 4chan posts from an MCC prison guard appeared claiming a body swap took place, with a van arriving that did not check into the prison and violated other prison protocols. From the recent Epstein drop, we know the FBI investigated the person behind this post hard, and it's now confirmed from bank statements affiliated with the subpoenas that the person who made those posts on 4chan saying that the bodies had been switched was an actual MCC prison guard named Roberto Grijalva. Given the circumstances that this is 2 days after his alleged death on his own island, I'm going to tell you that's definitely Epstein. How many of you remember when maybe it was like 3 months ago, it was just when we launched this YouTube channel, I did a video saying, I think it's actually quite possible that, Epstein is actually still alive. I mean, you could look to, of course, his earlobe and see how his earlobe in photos where he was alive looks a lot different than the earlobe that was pictured on the man that they claimed to be Epstein once he was deceased. You can look at their noses. Their noses are different as well. Epstein, he's got kind of a one-of-a-kind nose, as they say. Then we got this. I can't show you those photos, by the way. I think I'll get, taken down on YouTube if I show you his body. But then we had this right here, and it really left me with a weird feeling.
And we're not done with Jeffrey Epstein. I can tell you that for a fact. Can't tell you how I know, but I can tell you for a fact we're going to hear a lot more about Jeffrey Epstein in the coming year, and you may be even hearing from him directly. More on that as I'm allowed to tell you.
What?
Fascinating. And
that's not just if you're not American, you don't know who that is. That's not some random woman. This is Megyn Kelly. She's probably one of the most upper echelon elite media personalities in the United States. She hosted the infamous, hilarious debate between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, where Trump then went on to say that, she had blood coming out of her wherever, referring to Megyn Kelly. That's Megyn Kelly. I think that maybe she knows something. She knows something. She hasn't told us what that something is, but she knows something. She needs to spill the beans.
Fascinating. And we're not done with Jeffrey Epstein. I can tell you that for a fact. Can't tell you how I know, but I can tell you for a fact we're going to hear a lot more about Jeffrey Epstein in the coming year, and you may be even hearing from him directly.
You may even be hearing from him directly. Now, that would be weird. It'd be less weird if, we had never heard Epstein speak before. And, we get a video of Epstein speaking or something like that. Something where, something unprecedented like that, right? But we've already seen plenty of videos. We've seen his testimonies. We've seen bits and pieces of his interviews. We'd seen all of that. So you got to ask the question, what do you mean, Miss Megyn Kelly? Well, let's take a look. Sounds insane, but let's examine the evidence if it turns out that Epstein is actually still alive, because people are going to flip. An hour before Epstein's death was announced, a series of 4chan posts from an MCC prison guard appeared claiming a body swap took place, with a van arriving that did not check into the prison and violated other prison protocols. From the recent Epstein drop, we know the FBI investigated the person behind this post hard, and it's now confirmed from bank statements affiliated with the subpoenas that the person who made those posts on 4chan saying that the bodies had been switched was an actual MCC prison guard named Roberto Grijalva. There are other anomalies as well. The cell was not preserved as a crime scene, violating Bureau of Prisons protocol. Epstein's body was removed before FBI agents arrived. Why would they do that? Why would they remove his body before the FBI agents arrived? That doesn't make sense. And no photos were taken of the body in the cell. That's also true. I mean, we do have a lot of photos of Epstein's body. They were trying to resuscitate him. We've seen those photos that were published yesterday, but we've seen no photos of him actually in the position, like where they found him. You'd think that they would say, this is a crime scene, preserve the evidence, right? But they didn't do that. So what can we deduce from this? Items in the cell, medications, and noose were moved or disturbed during the initial investigation, leading experts to criticize the handling as shoddy and potentially compromising hard evidence. It's not a smoking gun in itself, but this disarray adds evidence to the likelihood of a body swap. Additionally, no DNA evidence or fingerprint confirmations exist of Epstein's body. Why is that? Don't you think that if there's all this controversy over whether or not that was actually him, they would have gotten fingerprints? I mean, they have his fingerprints, presumably from the 2008 guilty plea in Florida. They have DNA evidence. For sure, they have DNA evidence. Why not get any of that? The whole idea that they don't have that makes me believe that that's 100% a fake. None of that exists of Epstein's body because his brother Mark identified the body as real. Oh, well. Super trustworthy guy, right? Mark Epstein, the brother of Epstein. We're not going to take any fingerprints, any DNA because his brother said so. His brother said, hey, don't worry about it. That's definitely my brother. Now, could his brother possibly have a motive to lie? Did anyone think about that? Did anyone think that, hey, maybe his brother doesn't want Epstein to be found because he wants his brother free and doesn't want him in prison or killed or something like that? Or maybe his brother doesn't want Epstein to be found because he's being threatened. Maybe his life or his kid's life were threatened if he didn't properly identify the body. Would Mark have an incentive to lie about his brother actually being dead? And even instigate a fake fight over whether he was murdered or committed suicide in order to distract from the theory that he's still alive? If everything Roberto's boasting is true, it very well may be. It could mean that Epstein is still alive today, probably drinking mojitos on a beach in Tel Aviv, laughing and shitposting from an alt account. Now, here's the post from the MCC guard, which was confirmed. The FBI did a lot of digging on this, and I'll show you the digging they did in the documents that have been leaked now. They were concerned about this. Not saying anything after this, please do not try to dox me, but last night after 4:15 a.m., they took him medical in a wheelchair, front cuffed, but not one triage nurse says they spoke to him. Next thing we know, a trip van shows up. We do not do releases on the weekends unless a judge orders it. Next thing we know, he's put in a single man cell and hangs himself. Here's the thing. The trip van did not sign in, and we did not record the plate number, and a guy in a green dress military outfit was in the back of the van, according to the tower guy who let him through the gate. You guys, I am shaking right now, but I think they switched him out. So that was from MCC guard Roberto Grijalva. The FBI confirmed this, and that post was made on 4chan, 1 hour before Epstein's death was officially announced. 1 hour before the death was announced. And that's why the FBI freaked out about this and investigated it so carefully. Here you go. Here's his message. And here is not saying anything. Okay, so here's the FBI investigations into the matter. Report was generated using the following inputs. These are the reports being done on Roberto Grijalva, first name Roberto, last name Grijalva, role signatory, so he signed on to something here. Signatory details for Roberto Grijalva. They've got his name in the system. United States Government Memorandum, Metropolitan Correction Center, Roberto Grijalva. On Friday, August 9th, 2019, at approximately 1:50 p.m., ISOS Grijalva passed on to Cummings staff member Officer Davis and present shift staff Shakir and Officer Joyner. The inmate Reyes was going WAB and possibly may not return. Also, that inmate Epstein will be needing a cellmate upon arrival from his attorney visit. Wow. Now, if that was all I had to show you, it'd be pretty crazy. But also in the Epstein files, we had this video leaked. Tell me, who does this look like? Keep in mind, this video was recorded It was recorded 2 days after Epstein's reported death, and it was recorded, we don't know by who, an anonymous drone operator. So 2 days after Epstein died, this video was recorded on Epstein's island. Who does this look like? Can anyone tell me? See that man right there with the white hair? We're going to get a little bit closer here in a second. We're going to get here a little bit of a better angle. Who does that look like? White-haired man. It doesn't look anything like Mark Epstein, by the way. I don't know if you guys have seen Mark Epstein, his brother. Mark Epstein is practically bald. Doesn't look anything like him. All right, this is the brother of Jeffrey Epstein. Some people are saying, could it have been his brother? No, I don't think so. I don't know why it's not loading. Here we go. This is like a super grainy image, but that clearly, I mean, it clearly was not his brother. So let's get a little bit of a closer look here and have a better observation as to who the man was. Computer enhanced, please. Who's that? Who is that? Who is that? 2 days after he was reported dead on his island? Who is that? Now, you ask me, gun against my head, Jackson, who is that? I'm going to tell you without even knowing where this image came from. That looks like Epstein. Given the circumstances that this is 2 days after his alleged death on his own island, I'm going to tell you that's definitely Epstein. And I think Megyn Kelly was 100% right. I too think now we're going to be hearing a lot more about and possibly from Epstein in the very near future. Before you leave, I want to say thank you for the support, because after 2 years of being banned, we are finally back home on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe to our channel and also join as a member on our channel using the link at the top of the description. I rely on the generous support of viewers like yourself to get the truth out to as many people as possible. You can also support the show on Locals or Give Sin Go. The mainstream media and the powers that be are never going to stop attacking us for bringing the truth to as many people as we do. Thank you so much for your support.